So I always wanted my Spotify on Windows to look something like this, with a cool background picture and custom buttons to match the rest of the setup, with more features than the standard version as well as little hidden Easter eggs within the app, and I think a lot of you would also love something like that. And I think I might have found the perfect tool to solve exactly that problem. While looking for a solution, I came across something called Spicetify, and honestly I had no idea how much you could actually change with it. Apparently you can change everything from the background picture to the play button, which already sounded pretty cool to me. And then I also found out that you can get rid of all the annoying ads, and it does all of that while being completely free. So I thought, why not actually try it out and see how far I can take it? First up, we obviously have to install Spotify. I heard that it's really important that you download the Spotify application from their website and not from the Microsoft Store. I think that's mainly because the Microsoft Store is absolute garbage. And second of all, Spicetify only works with the non-Microsoft Store version. If you have it installed from the Microsoft Store, or if you aren't sure from where you got it like me, you can simply uninstall it and then reinstall it the right way. For that, I went to the official Spotify website and clicked on this tiny button here that says download directly from Spotify. Now that the file has been downloaded, I can execute it. This step is quite straightforward. Just wait for the app to install and then log in with your account. Once that's done, the first step is complete. Now we can go to another website, which I will link in the video description. On this website I can install the Spicetify extension. I simply copied the code right here, opened the Windows PowerShell application and pasted in the code I just copied. And now, I guess we just wait. In my case, it took around 15 minutes to download, but my router is quite literally a potato, so in your case, it will probably go a lot more smoothly. While the installation was in progress, a few confirmation prompts popped up. I simply confirmed all of them by typing Y. And after waiting for what felt like forever, it was finally done. Now that it's done, Spotify started back up. At first glance, I didn't see any difference at all. I was actually wondering if I had done something wrong. But then I noticed something in the top left corner of the screen. This little shopping cart is where the true magic begins. So I clicked on it just to see what was actually in here, and I found 5 different categories at the top, starting with extensions. And this is where things started getting interesting. There are loads and loads of different things in here, such as the keyboard shortcut Spicetify and the beautiful lyrics extension. You can obviously play around with all of those different things, but there was one that immediately stood out to me, and that's Adblockify. This is definitely one of the most useful extensions in this section. As you can probably guess from the name, its main purpose is to remove the ads from Spotify and make your listening experience much more enjoyable. I honestly didn't expect something like this to just be sitting in here. To install it, I simply clicked on the install button and restarted Spotify so that the changes can take effect. I do have to warn you, this extension can get you banned by Spotify because you violate their rules. Once Spotify has started again, Adblockify will run in the background and automatically block the ads for you. It's a really simple addition, but if it actually works as advertised, it makes a huge difference if you use Spotify regularly. And after testing it for a bit, it actually seemed to work really well. Another really great extension I found is the Trash Bin Spicetify option. This one gives you the option to throw any song and even artist in the trash so you never have to hear them again. I have to skip songs I hate so often that this definitely is a game changer. I actually don't know why Spotify doesn't just have something like this built in. Now the next step would be themes, but before that I found something else I wanted to try. These are called snippets. A snippet is basically just a very small addition to Spotify, similar to an extension. And again, there are loads of different things in here. But there was one thing I simply had to install, and that's Dancing Sonic. I honestly had no idea what to expect from this, but after installing it, this little Sonic just started dancing around in Spotify. And that's honestly such a nice and funny little touch. I'm absolutely all for it. Another cool snippet which actually serves a great purpose is the Auto Hide Friends mod. I absolutely hated this feature from the moment it came out, and now I never have to worry about it randomly popping up anywhere. So far, I have to say there are way more useful little modifications in here than I expected. Now before I get to the best part, which is the themes, we'll take a look at the apps. In here you can install several things, such as this cool visualizer, along with loads and loads of other stuff. However, all these things have to be installed via custom code in the PowerShell. I actually didn't install anything here because nothing looked insanely good to me, but you can simply get all of these apps by clicking on this little GitHub button on them and then copying the custom code from there. So as you can see, this tool is really incredibly versatile, and that's absolutely awesome. But now I think we finally get to the part I was actually looking for from the beginning, the themes. There are quite a few of them in here, so I'm just going to go through some of the ones that caught my attention and see what they actually look like. First up, we have Shark Blue. I mean, the preview picture already looks pretty cool, so let's see what it actually looks like in Spotify. Okay, I actually quite like this. It changes quite a few things, but at the same time, it doesn't feel like it completely takes over Spotify. And somehow it also fits really well with the little dancing Sonic I installed earlier. The blue effects everywhere are pretty cool too. I definitely think I could actually use this one, but let's try another one. This one is called Adblockify. And honestly, that name alone already sounds pretty interesting. I'm a big fan of the Apple Music design, so when I saw this one, I immediately thought, okay, that looks cool, let's try it. And yeah, I actually really like this. It gives Spotify a completely different look, and it feels a lot cleaner than the standard interface. I especially like the simple menus and the way the album artwork is displayed. Everything just looks a bit more polished. I didn't really expect this one to be one of my favorites, but I think this might actually be the one I keep. Okay, but let's move on. The next one is called Zero, and this one looks pretty good on the cover picture as well, so I'm curious to see what it actually looks like. Let's try it out. Okay, yeah, this is actually pretty nice. It's really simple, which I personally like, and it doesn't change absolutely everything, but apparently there's also a color option. Okay, let's see what happens if I change this from the standard dark mode to the light mode. Yeah, I also like this, but let's look what else we have. Dark orange also sounds interesting. Not 100% my type, but I think that Tokyo Night looks actually really nice. Yeah, I could definitely see myself using this one too. I also really like that the status bar stretches completely from the left to the right. That's a pretty small detail, but I think it makes the whole thing look much cleaner. Okay, one more. This one is called Glassify. And just looking at the preview, this already looks completely different from the others. Let's see what it looks like. Oh wow. Okay, this is definitely a lot more than the previous ones. There's glowing stuff basically everywhere, and with the transparency effects it looks pretty crazy. And wait, the background actually changes depending on the song that's playing. Okay, that's actually really cool. I really like how this looks, although I don't know if I could use it every single day. It also seems like it's using quite a bit more performance, which makes sense considering how much is going on here. But as something to completely transform Spotify, this is definitely really cool. So after trying all of these out, I honestly didn't expect there to be this many different options. I started this just because I wanted a cool background for Spotify, and now I've completely changed the entire interface. For now, I think I'm going to stick with Adblockify. It wasn't even the one I was specifically looking for at the beginning, but after actually trying it out, I think it looks the best. But there are obviously tons of other themes that I haven't tried yet, so I'd love it if you wrote in the comments which ones you use so I can try them out. Feel free to like and subscribe, and also don't forget to check out all of our other socials, such as Discord and even our website.